And this is a story that some of our listeners say is probably the most important story in the news, possibly in years, and that is that an advisor to the supreme leader in Iran has now said that Iran has the capability currently of building a nuclear bomb. And you have to wonder, when they reveal something like that, are they telling you the cutting edge? Or they like, hey, we just figured this out just now? Or are they telling you that because they've already got a few bombs already built? I mean, I'm thinking they don't reveal the information on the cutting edge of wherever they're at. So I'm thinking they may already have a few bombs. You know, we know that. We've talked about that. By the way, enriching uranium, I don't think is the most difficult part of the process. It's a difficult part of the process, but you know, developing some of these gyroscope systems, I mean, that's what we actually spent the most time on, the gyroscope systems, the detonators, all of that. In our program, that was the hardest part. Maybe, though, given the Biden administration and the way we've dealt with China, Clinton released a lot of satellite technology and missile technology to them. Maybe we've just given that information away, so nobody's got to redevelop it on their own. So all they've got to do is get the centrifuges to enrich the uranium. But they say they've now been able to enrich up to 60% and can, quote, easily produce 90% enriched uranium. So they're claiming they have the technical means to produce a nuclear bomb, but they haven't made the decision yet of whether or not to build one. They also add that any direct action by Israel will result in retaliation from them. So we know Israel does not want them to have a bomb, and you could understand that since their stated goal of the Iranian regime is to wipe Israel off the face of the map. You know, it's interesting because people say they try to equivocate between these two, but, you know, if Israel had the stated goal of wiping Iran off the map, you understand they could do that now. They could do that this moment. They could nuke Iran into nothingness, right? But they don't do that. Their goal is not to get rid of Iran. They just want Iran to calm down, stop attacking them, stop funding Hezbollah, stop sending missiles to Hezbollah, stop attacking their country. That's what Israel wants. But you've got the Iranians who say, we want to just get rid of that entire country. We want to commit genocide against millions of people and get rid of them and remove them from the planet. That's Iran's goal. So you could understand why, if you were in the country that was on the receiving end of those threats, you wouldn't want that other country to have a nuclear bomb.
Is it fair to say Iran is a bigger problem now than they were 2 years ago?
Absolutely, right? Because Biden has reversed the Trump policy. And Biden is back engaged with them. We're back engaged in talking to them. Of course, Biden and Obama, round one, gave them all those billions of dollars, all those pallets of cash we just flew over there for what? We don't owe these people anything. I mean, don't forget the Iran hostage crisis where they kidnapped our diplomats in the embassy. Don't forget that. I mean, that's an act of war. We could have gone to war with them right then and right there. The only reason we got those diplomats back was because the president changed. It wasn't Carter the wimp anymore, kind of like Biden the wimp. And Ronald Reagan came in, and they got a little scared that Reagan was going to back it up. He was actually going to attack them militarily if they didn't give up those hostages. And that's why that hostage crisis finally ended, was because of Reagan's strength. We saw that same kind of behavior under Trump, and other countries have talked about that. The leaders, they don't really know exactly where Trump is coming from. They're a little concerned that he's a little bit of a loose cannon and he's willing to go to war over stuff. And so they don't act as boldly as they're acting under a guy like Biden, who they know is not going to do anything. They know it's not going to do anything. It even appears it's in Biden's interest for some reason to strengthen Iran, because I now hear they're talking about giving Iran up to, and it says, billion, that's so 2010, talking about billions, right? That's like so Ukraine. We're going to give them billions to Ukraine. They're talking about giving $1 trillion to Iran between now and the year 2030. $1 trillion. And why? That's our money. That's money out of your pocket, ladies and gentlemen, coming right out of your pocket, right out of what you earn. And you got to ask the question, why? Why do that?